Now let's go ahead and remove everything, and we're going to talk about multiple return values from a function. So for example, let's say we have, kind of like we were doing, result colon equals, and let's say get results. We're just going to call our function get results this time, and it's going to take in the numbers 50, just like we had before, and 5, just like we had before. And we're going to change what this is in a little bit, but for now let's say get results equals result. And if we go down here and we do what we did before, but now we're going to call our function get results because that's what we named it here. It takes in a first number and a second number. They're both integers, so remember we can do either int like that, or shorthand will work like that. And we want to, for now, we'll return an int, and we're going to do what we did before, just for example, and then we'll expand on this. So currently we're going to return num1 plus num2. So here we go. We should get 55 in the result, and let's print it. fmt.println result. Run it. We get 55. Now, what happens if we want to do some addition and some subtraction and return both, right? So for example, let's say we want to do add result colon equals num1 plus num2, add result, we did that already, sorry, subtract result colon equals num1 minus num2, like this. And now we want to return both the add result and the subtract result from our get results function. Well, we can say return add result, comma, subtract result, or sub result in our case. So now we're saying we want to return both the add result value and the subtract result value. Now currently our return value is just one int, and if I run this, we're going to get quite a few errors, I believe. Yep, too many return values. So you can see here we're trying to return two things. We have int, and currently our function only wants to return one integer. So to fix this, we have to come up here, and instead of just returning one int, we can't just do this. We have to add some parentheses here. So we have to do this, and we want to return two different integers from our function. So like this, parentheses int comma int. And now this matches the return value. And the only thing here is, the only issue should be up here, we're assigning both values to one result. We're probably going to get an error. Yeah, assign mismatch. One variable but get results returns two values. So how do we fix this? We're returning these up here, and we're trying to store both of these from here into one result variable. That doesn't work. So what we need to do is we need to have two variables. We can call them whatever we want. We could say num1, num2 equals get results, or in our case, yeah, let's do that for now. Num1, comma, num2 equals get results. So we get the add result and the subtract result from here. We assign them respectively to num1 is add result, num2 becomes subtract result, and then let's print them. So to print multiple things, we can say num1 comma num2 like this. Now they'll both be on the same line, that's fine. We get 55 for the add result and 45 for the subtract result, which is num2. Now I would say, in order to make these more readable, let's call this add result and sub result like this. Run it, we're going to get the same thing. Nope, we get an error because we're trying to print things that now don't exist because we renamed these. So let's rename these, run it. Now we get our 55 and 45, and remember, because we declared these down here in this scope, in these brackets, we don't have to worry about how those affect us declaring them up here in these brackets. They're in two different scopes, so we can reuse these variable names to kind of keep our program cohesive. But again, we could call these whatever we want. You saw before we called them num1, num2. That works also. Now, some of you are probably thinking ahead, can we return three things? Sure we can. Mult result, so multiplication result, num1 times num2, and we just add a third one here, mult result. It rhymes. I misspelled result. Mult result, and we just have to add a third int in our return. And if I run this as it is, think about what's going to happen. If you thought that there will be a return error here, you're right, because we're returning 3, which is fine. But up here, we only have 2 variables assigned to what getResults is returning. Let's run it. Yeah, and you'll see 2 variables, but getResults returns 3. So now we have to add a third one here. We could call it num3, we could call it mult result, which I'm going to do for multiplication results. And we want to print it here, mult result, like this. Now let's run it. And you can see we get 50 times 5, 50 plus 5, 50 minus 5, and 50 times 5.